Hey, it's Ray, and today we are going to be making some low-carb bullshit that I have seen plastered all over the Pinterest board. So here we're going to do our pesto avocado zoodles. And granted, your girl likes things a little bit spicier in life, so just stay tuned. The amounts will be all in the description box. Okay, so for this recipe, we're going to need 1 avocado, a handful of pine nuts, some basil and garlic, as is necessary for pesto. You should use lemon, but I only had a lime, so we use half of a lime. And then our seasonings, which we're just going to do salt, pepper, and paprika. For the zucchini noodles themselves, just do 1 zucchini a person. I like some meat in this recipe. If you don't, you can substitute the bacon and bacon fat for olive oil, and then just a touch of green onions. Okay, here's the fun part. So what we're going to do is we're going to snip off both ends of the zucchini, mazel tov, Shabbat shalom, and then we're going to take it and place it in a spiralizer. And you guys, these are not expensive. I literally got this off of Wish for $1, and they're so much more fun than the machine-operated ones. So all you're going to do is just push it in there and spiralize, and this is the point I realized I should put it in a bowl, so that's what I did. So you're going to spiralize everything into a bowl, get it in there, you might have some curly cues, and then what you're going to do is salt the zucchini, so that way we can make sure all of the water gets taken out of it, and we're going to pop it into a strainer and just let it sit. We don't like our zoodles soggy. Okay, now we're going to take a pan on medium-high heat. Don't do it too high at first, otherwise the bacon's really going to sizzle and splatter you. But we're going to put down 4 pieces of bacon for this recipe for me. Of course, you can adjust it. And, if you the placement like I did in the pan, hopefully it's not too hot and you can fix it like I did here. Okay, so at this point, the bacon looks just about perfect. Take it off the heat, move it onto a paper towel lined plate, but don't do anything with the grease. Grab a heat-proof container, don't throw it away, pour all of that liquid goodness that comes from all the meat and the fat of the bacon, and just reserve it, and girl, we're gonna set it aside. Now back to fresh ingredients, we're gonna take our green onion, we're gonna chop it up, but make sure to separate out the white part of the onion from the greens. This is because we're gonna end up cooking the zoodles with those whites for some extra flavor, and we're gonna keep the tops raw for garnish on top. Now about halfway through making this recipe, I realized I was home alone and I had literally no one to help me eat this, and it's one of those dishes you do want to eat it right when you make it. So at this point I halved everything. So I'm taking half of an avocado. You use the whole one, or if you're trying to cut down on your fat, you can certainly use half, but that's why I'm only using half here. And everyone makes fun of me for peeling my avocados, but you know what? That's what I do. We're just gonna chop everything up. This is pretty much the only prep you're gonna need to do for the sauce part, just to make sure the pieces are small enough to work with. And then just throw all of your other ingredients on the cutting board for prep and for aesthetic purposes before you throw them all into the food processor. Now instead of olive oil, this is the part where we use that reserved bacon fat. And to me, you guys, this is what makes this recipe so much better than any other version I've had. You can of course still make it with olive oil if you prefer it to be vegetarian or you're trying to cut sodium or something like that. But honestly, the meatiness and all the flavor from the leftover bits in the pan that it gives, it's beautiful. We're gonna go back to the pan now. We're gonna cook the whites of those onions just to get a little bit of that edge off. And then we're gonna throw in our zoodles. These cook really, really fast. So maybe just give them anywhere from 2 to 4 minutes aside. It really depends how crunchy or how soft you like them. Now this is the part where we're going to add about 2 strips of our bacon that we cooked, crumble them up, and cook them into the zucchini once they're almost done. This just really helps infuse any of that extra fat or flavor into the zoodle themselves. Now if you're like me, this is the point at which you realize you just threw way too much of the sauce into the zoodle mixture, but you know what, we're saucy, so we're gonna go with it and we're gonna pretend like it was intentional. This is also the part where Food Wishes taught me that whenever you serve pasta, even though girl, we know this ain't pasta, every time you serve pasta, you serve it in a heap where you twist upwards, and it apparently makes it look fancy. So if this looks even relatively fancy, thank you, Chef John. Now we're just gonna garnish with the extra green onions that we had on top, and here's the part where you can sprinkle paprika. I actually switched out and went with cayenne at the end because, like I said in the beginning, we spicy. Now, giving this a taste test, I'm not even kidding. You guys, this recipe was amazing. You can really taste all of the salt and flavor that the bacon fat gives the sauce, and mwah, oh, it's for low carb, it's pretty good. Anyways, I hope you guys have royally enjoyed watching me make this recipe. I'm not 100% sure if recipes is just going to be the base of this channel. I might have other videos and story times, but if you did enjoy the content, please hit that like or subscribe button. I know it's cheesy, but it really lets me know that there are other people watching out there than my parents. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed once again. Keep doing you and stay infamous.